All right, it is the first of hopefully many shows. The Binge is what the name
Yeah.
is decided upon. And Bandy, we are going to just talk about something we actually know about.
Our
What we
love,
think we know about.
our true love, besides our family and
Oh,
friends
yeah. Of course, got to say
and
that.
our
Yes,
sports teams.
yes is
This is a
watching
close third.
and streaming and trying to give our advice on what you should watch or stream or binge or just thoughts on it all. What do you want to start with today?
Well, the 72nd Primetime Emmy Awards came out this week, and there's a lot of shows on there that I watched, that you watched, that I think are worth highlighting if you have not seen. First of all, the nominees came out, and everything basically went to Netflix. They got 160 nominations, which is a new record high for any network, beating out HBO.
Crazy.
From last year. So
just a few years ago, I feel like I was getting an envelope in the mail with a DVD in it.
Yes.
And now, now it's this.
Yes. Now Netflix is the preeminent company producing all the content we love. HBO, though, HBO's Watchmen led the way with 26 nominations. Now, you haven't seen The Watchmen. I watched it, and I would label it the top show of the year. I think it
really
so far. Yeah, the 26 nominations. Well-deserved. Regina King stars in it. It's based on a graphic novel, comic book, kind of a continuance of the 1985 superhero motif, and it's about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a lot going on there. It's hard to explain.
It kind
really.
of translates to what's going on today with race and things too. I've heard.
Yes, it covers the 1921 race massacre, and which is very important for the social issues going on in the world right now. So I highly recommend it for HBO.
I gotta get
watchers.
HBO, I guess.
Yeah,
I've got so many things I never get to.
I know. There's a lot of good stuff out there. This next one, my wife and I watched. I think you and Amy watched too. The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Amy watched. I did not watch.
Oh, you did not watch.
I saw like an episode.
Yeah.
It didn't grab me. And at the time I was doing the TV show and whatnot. And I said, that can be yours. You take that one.
That's
and do
her
it.
show alone. Well, I watched it with my wife, and it was well worth the watch. It got 20 nominations. It's about a Jewish housewife in New York in the 1950s trying to break into stand-up comedy. And it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Yeah, the next one, Ozark. We both love that show. 18 nominations. Jason Bateman. It's about a family. The dad is a money launderer for the cartel.
Right.
He moves the family down to the Ozarks to try and live a normal life and continue to money launder. And a lot of little things happen in between there. But
there is no Julia Garner plays Ruth.
Yes.
And it's one of the best characters on TV.
Absolutely.
One of the best characters in maybe the last 5 years.
Yes.
Ruth Langmore.
She was nominated for the best actress for this show. So,
oh, my God. Her lines are just amazing. Whoever writes for her.
Yes.
Is the best.
Jason Bateman's producer and director behind it. And it's his baby. They got one more season of Ozark coming out on Netflix.
Can Justin Bateman learn to be nice to the Justin Bateman character? Learn to be nice for Ruth. I mean, I don't understand that.
Yes,
whole thing.
I know that's got to come around eventually. I definitely think. Next one is The Mandalorian. You haven't seen this one because you're not a
Star
nerd
Wars
like
nerd.
me.
Yes.
It's on Disney Plus. If you're into Star Wars, you've probably already seen it, or you should. This next one, Schitt's Creek. One of our favorites. One of the best comedies. Well, it's off now, but
David.
It was, yes,
David.
That's a good impression.
She invented that. She said she's the one who made that up. She put out the microphone.
Yes. Don't
make this with her
break
hands.
your microphone.
And I will tell people who start to watch Schitt's Creek, you may not fall in love in the first 3 episodes,
right?
2-3 episodes, but you will.
Yes.
And it's such character driven that you've got to watch, I would say minimum of 4 episodes before you make your judgment on whether you're going to stick with it or not. But it gets better to me as it went on. Do you agree with that?
Yes, it's definitely one of those shows that gets better every season, every episode as they develop the characters. It's about a family, a very eccentric, rich family that loses all their money. The dad made his money on
blockbuster type
video cassette rental business, and they go belly up and end up
Yeah.
buying this town called Schitt's Creek.
I think they owned it. Did they already own it?
Yeah.
Right? And then they
Yeah.
somehow that's why they went there.
Yes, and
But
so
they don't get it's not worth anything, but they own it or whatever.
It's just it's weird how they own the town, but they live out of a hotel, and they're very
so good.
It's very fish out of water, but at the same time, it's got a lot of heart to it, and it's a very very.
I was
funny
afraid I'm on next to last season. I was afraid when they started getting schmaltzy and really heartfelt that it was going to lose its edge.
Yes,
it did not.
It did
It
not.
is still funny.
The comedy is
Still
there
funny.
through and through. So you got to check out Schitt's Creek. It's on Netflix.
And the oh gosh, why am I? What's her name? The actress who
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara. Yes,
Yeah.
Her
Home Alone
character,
mom.
her character is just Moira is absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Yes. It's got the dad from American Pie in it as well.
This big bushy eyebrows.
Yes, I'm blanking on his name right now, but definitely check it out on Netflix.
His son is in it, and his daughter's in it, and his son has his eyebrows.
Yes.
So
yes, he does.
We should know that.
And finally, wrapping up the dramas, The Crown, which you haven't seen, but I've watched all the seasons. It's about the royal family over in England. Starting from World War II, and it's going up to modern day. But
it just doesn't sound like something I would like.
I know it
sounds like something like a bunch of like a Victorian coming of age piece or something, or Downton Abbey or something. I hated that.
It does sound very close to that, but since it's set to the backdrop of World War II, it's very interesting. John Lithgow plays Winston Churchill, and he's a fantastic actor.
Whatever
and it's a very good. It's a very good historical fiction about the royal family. I know it's weird for me to recommend it because it's not typically something I would watch, but my wife got me into it, and it got 13 nominations. Finally, in the documentary category, Tiger King is going up against The Last Dance.
That is so weird to me.
It is.
Because they're such different things.
Totally
Tiger
different.
King and Michael Jordan Last Dance.
Yes, the Tiger King started out as a joke, and but it caught the eye of the entire world, and
I've watched them both, but they're just hard to believe they're in the same. I understand they're documentaries; there's the same category, but they're so different.
They are. They're very different. I recommend both of them. They're available on Netflix. Yes. Check out Tiger King and The Last Dance, which is the story about Michael Jordan's career as told by Michael Jordan. Let's go ahead and get to what's streaming this weekend. I know that it's not a huge weekend for stuff, but there are some hidden gems out there. The first movie available to rent on video on demand is an early release by James Franco's brother, Dave Franco. He was in he was in The Disaster Artist with James, and he's done some other stuff. But this movie's got a good premise. It's called The Rental, and it follows these two couples who are on an oceanside getaway who begin to grow suspicious that the host of their seemingly perfect rental house may be spying on them. Before long, what should have been a celebratory weekend turns into something far more sinister. So
we'll have to get on that.
It's got Dan Stevens from Downton Abbey and Beauty and the Beast, and Alison Brie from Community and the Netflix show Glow, which also a great show, by the way. It's got 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
maybe we'll have a review for that next week. I think my wife doesn't like horror, but she does like thrillers. So that's good. Yeah,
this is categorized as a thriller, not a horror movie. So when they say sinister, you're not going to get Freddy Krueger chasing you around. The next movie on demand is Yes, God, Yes. It's about this is a very strange premise. A Catholic teenager in the early 2000s discovers her sexuality and struggles to suppress her new urges in the face of eternal damnation.
Jeez.
It's very strange.
Is it a comedy? Is it serious?
It's a comedy. It stars Natalie Dyer that played Nancy, the older sister in Stranger Things. And it's got a Rotten Tomato score of 92%. So
the audience liked it too, which is good.
Audience score of 92 as well. So you want to check that out. For those of you who watched The Umbrella Academy on Netflix, it's a superhero show about some siblings who come together to mourn the death of their adopted father. First season got 83%, and season 2's getting 92%. So it's one of those shows that I guess is getting better. On Amazon Prime, you can check out Most Wanted, which is a movie, early access movie you can rent from Josh Hartnett. It's inspired by a gripping true story of an
I like that.
Yeah, true story. I like movies based on true stories generally. Josh Hartnett fights to expose the twisted truth behind a heroin bust orchestrated by dirty cops to frame an innocent man sentenced to life in a Thai prison.
In a Thai prison?
Yeah, so
I love Locked Up Abroad, so this is kind of going to be a little bit of that. This is going to be gritty and dirty and nasty. I love it. It's going to
have some scary stuff in it, if they're mentioning a Thai prison.
Yes.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 63% and 58%
Josh
audience
Hartnett
score.
Is back.
He might be back. Yeah, he might be back. And for the kids, finally, this weekend, the Muppets Now, which is basically the new Muppet Show, is available.
Do they use the music?
They do at some point. I watched the first episode of it, and they, of course, start out with like doing a Zoom phone call. All the Muppets are getting together.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea.
But it's got 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you're a fan of the Muppets and your kids, you want to introduce them, it's on Disney Plus. And finally on Netflix, streaming, if you're a nerd or your kid's a nerd, Transformers War for Cybertron.
Nice.
Is a new Transformers show on there. It's got 100% Rotten Tomatoes score. So you can check that out with the kids this weekend.
And before you leave, I do want to tell them that because it's a sleeper. Not many people I know have seen it.
Yeah.
Because it's been out for a little while. I think January or something. I think it's called 7500. It's a movie on Amazon Prime. It's free if you got Amazon Prime. 7500. Okay. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in it. It's a people take over 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. People take over the
pilot, right?
The pilot and terrorists take over the plane. It's all I'll say. But edge of your seat stuff. My wife left it too. So there you go.
Okay. And real quick before we wrap up, just a little fun little thing I saw. The most overrated TV shows according to every state. Now, they're basically, let's see. 9 shows that are mentioned constantly in every state.
No, I think they gave them a limited list. They didn't tell them just pick one.
Yes,
Yeah, they gave them like the most watched shows of the last 15 years or something.
That's right, and
something
just
like that,
one of 9 different shows. So there's a lot of overlap in the states. But I've got to say, South Carolina, I'm very disappointed in you.
What was it?
Their most overrated show was Breaking Bad.
What?
Which is in the top 5 of my favorite shows ever made. So I don't even know.
Me too.
I don't know what's going on.
Maybe hit a little too close to home to some parts of South Carolina.
A little meth labs down there.
They're like, hey, this is not real.
You're giving away our plan. This is how we were building our meth empire.
Special blue meth empire.
And North Carolina, Game of Thrones was their most overrated, which,
I mean, it's like a certain niche. It's more of a niche. I can see how some people might think.
And it started out so good and ended so
That's
poorly.
True. So if people checked in late, they would have said that.
So there you go. Most overrated TV shows according to every state. We'll have that up on our Facebook page, or you can go check it out.
All the binge things that they need to know.
Yes, the Binge on Facebook. You can find us there. Like our page. It's under construction, but if you're listening to this or watching this, like it. Also, you can find us on Twitter at BingePod1079. Or if you got some feedback, you want to talk about some shows, you got an idea for the show, something you want us to talk about, send us an email at thebinge1079@gmail.com.
Yeah, because down the road, we want to talk about, get in detail and depth about shows and things like that. This was just a different episode because the Emmys just happened to come out and all that sort of thing. But we'll start binging shows. We'd love to have you all give your opinion and maybe even join us on a Zoom or two podcast. There you go. Go binge your brains out.
All right. We'll see you next week.
So you're blind. Bye.